Alright, we are back for the final round. On the draw against Fist House, which is not a name I like, but oh well. Hand would be a keeper with a green. I think it's a mulligan without a green though. We cannot cast anything. If we do a green, yeah, sure, it's great, but we are not that likely to draw green. Like, Forest is less than 1/4 of our deck, so even though we have 2 draw steps, a couple draw steps in front of us, I don't think it's wise to keep it. I kind of want to keep it though, because if there's a Forest on top, this hand is just pure nonsense distraction on the opponent's face. But yeah, I don't know. I think I would mulligan that in an important tournament, but I'm gonna be greedy and keep it and try to be lucky. If we're playing against an aggressive red-white deck, this might go wrong extremely quickly though. But I guess we have 3 draw steps before we really need to draw a Forest, and again, that's 1/4 of our deck. So the odds are not amazing for us, but they are not awful either. Yeah, if my opponent goes turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, I'm not gonna be in great shape. We just top deck the Forest right away though. I might still lose that though. Like if my opponent goes Renegade Freighter, hit you for 5, I'm gonna look a little bit low on life. Straight up Naya beatdown. A hell of a deck. Alright, what are you up to, man? I'm saying man because, well, I often say they or opponent because, you know, you never know against who you play, but I hope it's not gonna trigger someone if I say that I kinda doubt a woman would get Fist House as a nickname. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm, assuming things that I should not assume, but this feels, yeah, this would be a bit weird, I feel like. Either way, let's not continue this talking because it's probably if anything it's probably gonna make someone mad. Dropping the Trumpeter first because next turn if I keep missing land, I mean if I don't have forced land drop, I can go Artisan and still pump the Trumpeter. Definitely not trading here, but I could see the Trumpeter dying anyways. As the Fanatic is dealing insane amounts of damage. Treasure Keeper. Interesting. I think we want to go Artisan plus Implement on the Trumpeter. Get ourselves a 1/4 and a 4/4 and pass the turn. It's a little bit like wasting an activation on Trumpeter because I'm getting a counter no matter what. But I don't have anything better to do with my mana, and I have other ways to get counter in my hand. So I feel like this will grow pretty much no matter what in the next couple turns. Note that High Spire Infusion, interesting enough, give me the possibility to pump the Cub, which pumps the Trumpeter end of turn if I end up using that. Daring Demolition was an amazing top deck because we are looking pretty good on board. We are just a little bit soft to powerful Bomb Rare, and Daring Demolition, solves that issue. Fleetwheel Cruiser. Alright, no more counters out of the High Spire Infusion. Interesting spot here. I'm not thrilled about trading Trumpeters. Don't really want to take 5. I think it's the play is taking 5 though. Because if they don't have another Revolt, this will grow so large that it will probably win the game on its own. So, and soon it's gonna be able to just block the cruiser actually, without dying. Could make that a 6/6. Then my opponent doesn't have any great block and keep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Make the elephant a 6/6 so they don't have any great attack. And if they have a trick or a Revolt, I can still Hyper Infusion and be in a decent shape. If I draw a land, I might want to play the guide. I did not draw land, so it makes things simpler. Alright. Your turn. Your turn. And now, best case scenario, they do something like animate cruiser, attack, try to use a trick and get destroyed by infusion. And if this happens, they probably just lose the game. If they have another Codinabrite or a Thopter Arrest on the Trump tier, then they probably cannot play another creature. They would crew the cruiser. We would block and infusion, get rid of it, take 3. It would not even be the worst. So the worst case scenario for us is, well, it might not be the worst case scenario, but the worst thing I can imagine right now, which is Thopter Arrest or Codinabrite, is not even that bad for us. So yeah, I think we'll be fine. Hondawick was a good top deck, obviously. Implement of Ferocity. And now they will animate cruiser and attack. Sure. Well, if they have a pump spell of their own, it's pretty bad for me. But the way they are playing, using the implement right now, kinda make me feel like they probably don't have the pump spell. And even if they have an infusion of their own, we still trade. So yeah, I'm gonna go block and infusion. If they have their own infusion, we trade 2 for 2, whatever. If they have nothing, I just eat the cruiser. Looks like they have nothing, otherwise it would have gotten cast. Most likely I think they would want to keep their cruiser. And it's not like they can use a red burn spell to kill the Trumpeter right here. They could, Hungry Flames to finish it, end of turn. But either way, I did not take any damage and we got rid of the cruiser, which was important. And here, if they don't have a Revolt for Trumpeter, they're in really tough spot. That's fine. I mean, they will get to have something out of the keeper, but they're still pretty much 2 for 1 themselves. So, I mean, they got one of the best cards they could ask for, I guess, but still, this is not the worst trade for me. My opponent's deck seems really greedy, like 3 colors Naya, with mostly green still playing Motorist. That's kind of crazy. Put a card on bottom, play the Brawler. Put both cards on bottom, sorry, and play the Brawler. Options. Kind of want to just kill the Brawler and pass the turn. If I drop Club Security, they can attack with Brawler. Yeah. Using the Hondawick while they are tapped out is also pretty good. They can only use that while it's attacking, yeah. Just making sure. And I doubt the last card in their hand is the Revolt, but if it is, or if they top deck a Revolt, I'm taking 5 down to 4, which is not even the worst. And it's right now it's looking like they don't really have anything to bypass this 2/5 wall. And I have a decent amount of good spells in hand. Sacking the Gross. Drawing a land, it feels like. Alright, looks like Melbourne is out of gas, which is good for us. Gonna drop the Club Security and pass the turn. I could attack. If they have nothing, it's not, I just get 2 damage in, but I don't think 2 damage will matter a ton this game, and if they top deck a Reinvol, I don't want to take 5. I feel like the way I lose this game is, if I get a bit too aggressive and take some unnecessary damage. And now I'll start attacking. But again, you have to know when, you have to know what your game plan is. Here my game plan is just be able to deploy the card I have in hand because I'm a little bit short on mana, and then most likely win because I have a huge amount of card advantage and a Reinvolve for whatever huge threat they could top deck. So attacking and taking some unnecessary damage if they top deck a Reinvolve is probably one of the only way I can end up losing the game. At least it's not going to be good for me, I'm pretty sure. Alright, do we want to move things around? I don't really think so. I guess we could make that a 3-5. I know, probably not. Now I'm gonna get a bit more aggressive. If they make no block, I still have the Servo plus the Renegade plus the Guide in the back. I guess I can keep that back, so they have no good attack. Yeah, whatever. Again, I don't think I really end up losing that game by playing a little bit more defensively than I should. I think I'll lose this game if I play too aggressively. Happy enough with that trade. They might want to deal with the Poisoner though, because it's gonna make another 1/1 next turn if they don't. Fine with these trades. Now this is a 2-3. I'm gonna pass. Even if they are playing an aggressive deck, they could have Fumigate, and I have no reason to overextend. I still have a 2-turn clock here. And even though Fumigate is a rare and I haven't seen the card yet, I don't really see any reason to play into that when, again, it doesn't really change my clock, and if they do have it, I'd rather have the Guide in hand. Looks like they just conceded, which means they probably don't have Fumigate in their deck, because if you have Fumigate in your deck, you just try to top deck it, right? You don't concede. It looks like straight up Naya Energy. They could have a lot of growth and some maps. Maybe their mana base is good, but playing 3-color aggro is risky. Right. I've seen enough enchantment in Revolt to keep Appetite. I might even want Creeping Mold, as they do have Code in the Bright. Well, Treasure Keeper is not a great target, but they have the Fleetwheel Cruiser too. In the eyes of the 3-4 flyer they showed, High Spire Artisan is much better blocker than Elite. Artisan is pretty great against aggressive deck in general, even if they are not, especially trying to fly over you. Don't see anything being great here. Nothing I really feel like it's gonna be great. Creeping Mold, I don't know. I think they've shown a decent amount of targets, but I still have the Appetite in the main deck. Daring Demolition can also answer vehicles. I think I'll wait until I see slightly more enchantment and artifact before I put the mold in. So I'm just gonna submit that for now. By the way, had I known that my opponent was playing a pretty aggressive deck, I would probably have mulliganed the hand last game. Turned out they definitely had an aggressive deck, but we drew well, luckily enough. Hand is kinda slow, but pretty good. I mean, if they go turn to Brawler, turn to a good 2-drop, and if they have a good draw, it's gonna be tough. Bandar helps though. Having a nice 2-drop around is gonna help. Hopefully they don't have the Brawler here. Brawler is the worst case scenario. They do have it. It's gonna attack for 5 during the next couple turns, basically. It's gonna be tough to defeat. But Yeah, a turn 2 5/4 is pretty hard to beat in limited. Looks like the opponent just has the nut draw here. The good news is that if they don't have a removal for the bug, which we can make a which we can make which we can make a 3/4. This might be a decent way to get a bit of life and come back in the game somehow. Vengeful Rubble is amazing. The bad news is we'll be lacking 1 mana next turn to use it. The thing I'm worried about is that this will probably deal 10 or 8 or 9 damage before I can get rid of it, and that might be too much. Oh, the cruiser now. Yeah, that's the best draw they can do. I cannot believe you can make a better draw than this with your deck. I just cannot believe you can do better than that. Yeah. So we can drop Club Security. Trade. Yeah, no. No, then we have to jump if they have a creature. I think the move is to make that a 3/4, pray they don't have a removal, and then we can trade for, well, this game is unwinnable. My open draw was just way too good. On the play, I think it would be fine. I think it would be completely fine, but on the draw, it's just unwinnable. I cannot put a counter and attack and gain 3 because if they do have a creature, I'll lose. If they have a removal, I lose. I pretty much need my opponent to have 3 lands in hand and draw another land to not lose. Yeah. I did it this way, keeping 2 black available. This way, if I draw my Fatal Push, which is one of my out, I can Fatal Push and give that lifelink. We did not draw Fatal Push, which was probably one of the last card I could use to not lose. And now we still cannot go Rebel next turn. Yeah. If the removal has been anything else, I could have... Well, no, I would have died anyways. I don't think you can beat this draw. I don't think any deck in this set can beat this draw. On the draw, it's just too much power, too much. It's just too much, and the perfect lands too. I don't think you can get a draw much better than that. Given what I saw, I don't think I want to add the mold. I think I'm just gonna submit. I think on the play I have a very decent matchup. I have 2 life linkers, some solid removals. My late game threats are better than there. It just feels like an overall decent matchup if I can just have a solid draw. 2. And here, if they don't have a removal and I draw a green, they pretty much lose. Because you're not gonna beat a large lifelinker with your Niagara deck. I just drew a double green card though, which was probably the worst thing. Get rid of the coal. Alright. Well, being stuck with those implements is clunky. If my opponent goes turn 3 cruiser, well, this is gonna gain us a little bit of life, but we'll still be in quite a lot of trouble if we don't draw green quickly. And now they can, now they have the mana to basically do something like Chandra's Revolution. My opponent has been drawing land pretty well. Let's not lie. I think they had 3 colors on turn 3 each game, plus the cruiser on turn 3 or 4 each game. And That's kind of sad, but given that my draws have, at least this draw has not been very good, I think it's gonna be good enough for them to win. If I draw a land next turn, I think I'm still in the game, especially if the land is a forest, especially if they don't have a revolt for the Aetherborn. If they go Bandar, attack with Cruiser, plus Hungry Flames the Aetherborn, and I miss my land drop, it's game over though. I'd be pretty happy to see them attacking with a Druid. Don't really mind them using that here. We need the land though, we definitely need the land. No attack with the Druid feels like a really bad news for us. Not exactly sure what my opponent is gonna try to do, but... Or maybe they just have a 2-drop to play second main phase. Oh, gross. Alright. That I can live with. And sack it right away. Interesting. So they don't have any Revolt card in their deck, otherwise this play is pretty bad, right? You'd rather do that next turn, so... Because you're not playing something for 1 red, most likely. Weird. We drew green, which is amazingly good and lucky. I am gonna Daring Demolition the Cruiser. I don't want to take more damage from that thing. And we might be able to crawl back in this game despite a pretty medium start. If my opponent taps out, Honda plus Gifted Aetherborn is really nice. We are at 15. Yeah. Them not having any answer to the Aetherborn yet was really, really nice for us. Pretty sure last turn, if they had the Revolt, they would have gone Bandar and Thopter Arrest or whatever Revolt on the Aetherborn. They did draw Revolt at some point, not exactly sure when. And one of the best they could have used, as we are pretty much constrained on mana right now. Drawing Swamp was not very good. Thing is, I'm going down to 9 here. If they play another threat and have another Revolt, I probably lose because I cannot only deploy 1 creature each turn. Yep. It's not looking great right now. Definitely gonna make a 1/1 here. This way, if they end up having a Revolt, I can still go make the servo a 2/2 and drop a 6/6 next turn. And then at this point I might, I might have stabilized my board state, my looking pretty bleak board state. Now, sure, they can, move the counter here, attack for 3, but I don't think taking 3 is that bad. Yeah, sure. I'm happy enough with that. The question here is, do I want to be able to chump block if they have a Revolt for Cavalry? And I think the answer is I would not chump block. So I'm gonna attack. Because otherwise I miss 2 damage, obviously. And I did a little bit of damage early on with the Aetherborn, so my opponent definitely took some pressure and is not... their life definitely matters. I mean, the amount of HP they have. Foul Push was a great top deck as it kills the Druid. I think we'll make the servo even bigger, because why not? And now we're at 6, there's no Fireball in the set, so I think we just win. In theory they could have blossoming defense here. Looks like they don't, and looks like we'll be coming back in the game because my opponent probably flooded out here. I assume they have 3 lands in hand, which is unlucky. But you know, I don't think they can really complain because they had some really solid starts and draws this game. Just draw a little bit too many lands here, which feels like you know, pretty much sums up the draft. I've been flooding a little bit match 1, and then match 2 and 3 my opponent flooded quite a lot, which often, you know, gave me the win. Alright, we got there. Hope you guys enjoyed that draft video. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content, and see you for another draft probably next Tuesday. And after that, again, as I said, it's going to be on the following Monday because I will not be here at the end of this week. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys.